face in your face.
Hello everyone again. I hope you're doing well. We made good money from the EuroLeague predictions we gave last time. I hope there are friends who watched and added it to their bets. There is a nice NBA bulletin ahead of us. Exactly 9 games will be played, and I hope we will experience great things. Today, I will comment on 5 out of these 9 games and share player bets with you. Our first game, Detroit Pistons, Toronto Raptors. The Detroit Pistons are hosting the Toronto Raptors at home. 2 games ago, Cade Cunningham, who suffered a hip injury after falling on his hip in the Charlotte Hornets game, was reported to have no serious issues, and it is unlikely that he will play today. His absence will not be a significant loss for the team. The team will be under the control of Jaden Ivey, with shooters like Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, pivot Jalen Duren, and Tobias Harris on the wing, etc. As for Toronto Raptors, the injury list has not been announced yet. Last night, they lost to Cleveland Cavaliers on the road. They didn't play badly, but Cleveland quickly showed its power and dominated the game from start to finish, winning. Let's mention that Scottie Barnes is back. I believe he will play today, because there's no injury other than his eye injury. He didn't suffer from a muscle injury, so there's no back-to-back issue. If he doesn't play, that will be his own fault, and I can't say much about it, but I believe he will play, because he was injured in his eye. If it were a knee injury, I'd say he shouldn't play the next day, but not for an eye injury. Scottie Barnes will play. Grady Dick, the team's shooter, was injured during the game yesterday and left the game. His status is uncertain, and he might not play today, but R.J. Barrett will be on the court. Emmanuel Quickley is also unlikely to play, but there's a chance he could play. Detroit Pistons has lost all 3 of its last games, and of course without Cade Cunningham. They didn't play badly against Orlando on the road, but lost. They currently have 7 wins and 9 losses in the East. They started the season really well, exceeding their own and our expectations, but Cunningham's absence is a big blow to the team. Today, Detroit still has important players, and they are likely to win at home, but I trust Toronto more, especially with the return of Scottie Barnes, who can add some momentum to the team. I believe Detroit is the favorite in the match, as you can see from the odds, but I think Toronto can surprise. I will take Toronto with a plus 8.5 handicap. Even if Detroit wins, I don't think the gap will be too large. Our next game, Indiana Pacers, New Orleans Pelicans. There are important updates for New Orleans Pelicans today. What's the news, you ask? The game's point guard, CJ McCollum, who's been out for a while, is expected to return today, which is great news. His injury situation was clarified, and it seems he will likely play today. Pivot Yves Missy, who missed the last game, will also play today. DeJounte Murray was expected to return today after breaking his hand in the first game of the season, but he won't play yet, though he will return soon. Brandon Ingram was also expected to play, but his status has been downgraded to uncertain. However, I believe he will play today, but McCollum's return is very important. As for Indiana Pacers, there is no one currently on the injury list. They played yesterday and will play back-to-back today. They defeated Washington at home, but it wasn't a very tough match. They didn't struggle too much, and they brought the game to an end with good defense. However, the 2 teams were quite sloppy, and only 39 points were scored in the last quarter. It was a low-scoring quarter, but Indiana did win comfortably. They shouldn't feel much fatigue from playing yesterday, and no one else is currently on the injury list. Indiana has won only 1 of their last 4 games, which was yesterday against Washington. They lost against Toronto, Houston, and Milwaukee on the road. They currently have 6 wins and 8 losses and want to win this game. Their opponent, New Orleans Pelicans, has lost their last 4 games, with 4 wins and 11 losses. They lost to the Lakers at home, Dallas, Cleveland, and Golden State on the road. Their schedule has been tough, and on top of that, they've had a lot of injuries. CJ McCollum didn't play in any of those games. DeJounte Murray was also out. Brandon Ingram tried to carry the team, but he had some struggles. Jordan Hawkins got injured, but just returned. Brandon Ingram's status is uncertain, but if McCollum returns today, and if Ingram plays, they'll be a big help. I expect a high-scoring game with these two teams, as New Orleans isn't known for defense. My pick for this game is over 221.5 points. Our next game, Charlotte Hornets, Orlando Magic. Let's start with the injuries for Orlando. Wendell Carter, who has missed a few games, is expected to return today, and their star player, Paolo Banchero, will be out again. In his absence, the German star Franz Wagner has stood out. Jalen Suggs was injured in the last game, but is expected to play today, so he won't be missing. Anthony Black, a rookie, will also be available, as well as other players like Tristan da Silva, Franz Wagner's brother, Moritz Wagner. Orlando Magic is a good defensive team, with Jonathan Isaac also being a strong defender. For Charlotte, their key wing player Miles Bridges won't play today, and their backup point guard Trey Mann will also be out. Grant Williams is out for the season after tearing his ACL. The team's main two pivots, Mark Williams and Nick Richards, are also out. In their absence, Moussa Diabate is tasked with just grabbing rebounds and not looking at the basket. So Charlotte has a pretty weakened squad. Charlotte has lost 3 of their last 4 games, with their only win coming in overtime against Detroit, where Cade Cunningham was absent. They currently have 5 wins and 9 losses. Orlando Magic, on the other hand, has won 4 out of their last 5 games. Their only loss was to the Clippers on the road, which was understandable given the form of the Clippers. In their last 2 games, Orlando won with Franz Wagner's last-second three-pointer against the Lakers, and then easily beat Detroit at home. They have 9 wins and 6 losses. I don't expect Orlando to make any mistakes today. With their good defense, they will likely wear out Charlotte. My pick for this game is Orlando Magic minus 3.5 handicap. Our next game, Atlanta Hawks, Dallas Mavericks. There won't be any significant injuries for Atlanta today. Dallas, on the other hand, played last night and lost to Miami on the road. The injury list hasn't been announced yet, but there is uncertainty regarding Daniel Gafford. He played yesterday, but he might not play today. There is also a possibility that either Kyrie Irving or Klay Thompson will play, but I think Kyrie Irving will play, while Klay Thompson may rest because they are playing back-to-back games. Atlanta Hawks has won only one of their last 4 games. They lost to Portland, Golden State, and Chicago on the road, with their only win coming against Sacramento, which wasn't in great form. In that game, Atlanta played without Jalen Johnson, but Sacramento didn't have Sabonis either, so it was a more acceptable victory. Atlanta hasn't been doing very well lately, with 7 wins and 8 losses. They are a team that likes to play fast and score a lot, with Trae Young leading the team. Dallas Mavericks won 4 straight games before last night's loss to Miami in overtime. They were very close to winning, but lost due to some defensive errors. Dallas currently has 8 wins and 7 losses and is in 10th place in the West. This is a tough game to call, but I think the over-under bet could be a good choice. I think over 234.5 points is the better option. Our next game, Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trail Blazers. Today, Ja Morant has a chance of returning. He is currently listed as questionable. I see him returning today, but I can't say it's 100%. Zach Edey, the rookie pivot, will not be playing. For Portland, DeAndre Ayton will be out, Jerami Grant's status is uncertain, Scoot Henderson is uncertain, and the team's star rookie pivot Donovan Clingan will not play. Matisse Thybulle's injury continues, and Chris Murray is also uncertain. Portland is missing many key players. Memphis, on the other hand, has been in better form lately, with players like Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson showing great performances. Memphis has 8 wins and 7 losses, and is ranked 11th in the West. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, with their only loss coming against Denver at home, which was a bit of a surprise. Portland has 6 wins and 8 losses, and in their last 4 games, they have 2 wins and 2 losses. They won against Atlanta at home, but lost to Oklahoma and Houston on the road. With Memphis being in better form and Portland missing so many players, I'm going with Memphis to cover the minus 7.5 handicap and win the game. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos. Also, you can show your support by liking the video and leaving a comment. Your support means a lot to us.